And we are live on Twitch. And Evil Ed's in the house to watch the show again, as always. Thank you, Ed.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Dustin Garman, of course. My buddy co-host over here, Jeffrey Fox,
Yeah,
and
man.
today's episode is the 31st episode of Tell Us About Yourself with none other than Danny Thunder, aka you know him as Dick
Hey
Thunderlips.
man, I don't
Yeah,
know.
man.
I don't know where Grump is. This is Dick here. You want me to go get him out of the? I can go get him real quick.
Ah, that's fine. Who needs that grumpy guy?
That's fair.
I
Look
mean, I
at that
do, I do
mustache.
have questions for him, from a couple
It's real.
people, but yeah. So,
All right, let's see. Let's see what we can do here.
yeah.
Whoa, do we?
It was me all along. It
Oh,
was me, Austin. I was dressed like Dick. I got you.
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a hell of a trick, man.
Hmm.
Never change characters.
I do Dick cosplay.
That's a new one.
So, we're gonna just go fire into the first couple questions I got, because people want to know. The first one is a mail-in question from the LFF Hardcore Champion. He would like to know, how could you possibly lose the heavyweight title shot after GM Calais set you up for victory?
Well, you see something, brother. I didn't know John Polverino is so studied in the Liger's Den, and so that was heartbreaker. You know what was more heartbreaking? Losing with Vanilla Gorilla to that fiend Andrew Mecki. Where the next week that broke my heart more. Polverino's a great player, and I knew if he ran out of his deck, that my advantage was gone. And I hit the first finish, and then he was drawn through his deck, and at that I never drew ejected. It was one of only like 4 cards I didn't get through at some point, and rejected would have saved me, but that's another story there. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
rejected
went
is a
to roll
good
a
card.
10, on his finish or whatever. Rude.
Yeah, well, it is Polverino, and if there's one
We were
thing we
both
all,
rolling hot for what it's worth. I mean,
yeah,
if it wasn't Lagers then, I might have won because I was rolling so many agility, but I was literally, burying and getting them back, and
yep,
so who knows? It ended up killing me in the end. So
fair. All right, and he had a follow-up question for differently. So his second question would be: Is who is the best player in the higher class?
Ooh.
that's a trick question. So I'm gonna go ahead and say currently Kirk Polka, right? Uh, so Polka carried us through the last round of Faction Wars, and he's about to get his world title shot. So I can't choose myself since I just got done losing. But so I'll answer Kirk for now. We don't talk about who's the best because we're all just the best together.
All
You're
right,
the best around.
Except
yeah,
for Clace, he's the worst of us all. He never makes the team.
that is true. Um, so the phenomenal one would like to know: pineapple or sheep?
I mean, sheep all the time.
He would also like to know who's your favorite member of the. Well, he asked higher class. Who's your
Oh,
favorite member of the higher class? Not who's better.
I loudmouth's my boyfriend, so my heterosexual tag life partner is loudmouth. So I mean, I guess I have to answer that. You
Yeah.
know,
And then who's your favorite Rack Pack member? Also from the phenomenal one.
that's not really fair, but
Welcome to the show.
Candy
Yeah,
Ma'am is my
welcome.
favorite. Before they formed, I'll say Candy Ma'am since yeah, I want to be her backup husband, so I'll choose Candy Man. My name's also Dan, so it would be easy transition from Candy Man to Grumpy Man.
Yeah, I mean the easiest transition would be Kirk because they look the same. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Never mind.
yeah. So,
No, he doesn't count. He's busy. He's got a Lady Baba.
all right.
He's got a bunch of kids.
True. We did have a question from the buddy building. Uh,
He is
everybody.
actually in here.
Yeah, but it looks like he just wrote it out. When
Okay.
will the intergalactic title be defended?
That's a semi trick question. That's so it's technically in the planning. We like something's moving forward. Technically, I was hoping to have it today, but um, I'm trying to work out some timing here. It's been a rough go lately. And honestly, a lot of my extra free time has been spent doing side stuff for Y Wrestling and kind of doing some other more videos that aren't my own potentially than usual. So yeah, it's kind of stalled a little bit of me pushing forward. I was also trying to work a storyline with that as the restart to it. So hopefully within the next week or two, we'll get that going here. So.
And the follow up from everybody was, does he get a title shot since he never lost the belt?
No.
All right.
Spoiler.
Yep. All right. Evil Ed in Twitch would like to know, pickle or cheese.
No, definitely pickles are disgusting, sir. I hate pickles and mustard, and I put cheese on everything. So that's the answer there.
Kirk Polko asked, why are you so grumpy? Why is the grump so grumpy? But if you don't like pickles, that's probably why.
Ugh. Yeah, no, rough. I'll eat a cucumber. Does that count?
Yeah, I mean you can't have
phallic shape.
You can't have a traditional pickle without a cucumber.
And Jeffrey, we also have a question in here in our Zoom chat.
Yeah, I was going through questions in kind of the order that I got them in.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm trying to catch up with some of the Twitch before I go back to that. Evil Ed, horse or fox?
You said horse or fox?
Horse or fox. Originally it was horse or nothing, but then it's horse or fox.
Oh, I see. I say fox. You've helped me stream. I know a certain fox has helped me stream stuff and all that, and horse has frankly done nothing for me except get sent to the glue factory.
That's actually pretty true. We wouldn't have a show without this fellow.
That is true, and if I ever remember to turn my Streamlabs links off so that people can't try to enter shows that aren't currently running, that'd be great. Candy Ma'am would like to know, Candy Ma'am or Candy Dan?
It's easy. It's still Candy Ma'am. I'll double down. I want to be backup husband. So there you go.
Yep. I mean, makes sense. All right. Then let me drop to the Zoom question now. The Nightmare King would like to know, who do you wanting to have a dream match with in the SRG?
Like a human, like a player.
Who's your dream match?
Though, if there's a competitor you have a dream match against too, that would be an interesting follow-up as well.
So the problem is, I mean, technically, playing Polverino for the world title probably would have been it if you would have asked me 6 months ago or whatever, right?
No, I imagined in the dream you would have won.
Yeah. So my new current dream match is a rematch for the world title. It's like Rocky, right? I had to lose the first time. The protagonist can't just win out of the gate. I had to fight adversity and lose.
Well, sure. You also have to pretend you're from Philadelphia with a Brooklyn accent.
That's totally fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been trying to push for the world title since the middle of last year or whatever. So, I mean, I pretty much played everybody. Not literally everybody, but I think I played against pretty much every person in the game, so to speak. I don't know if there's anyone I haven't had a game against, but I think getting another shot at the world title and actually winning it would be kind of the dream at this point. I just want to cut promos with it. I feel like it's held hostage right now, sadly.
Yeah, and there's Hold Line Harry out there saying you deserve it.
Oh,
shots. All right.
Put Harry in charge. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kirk Polka, who is someone you haven't played you want to play?
Actually, I can't think of someone I haven't played, someone in the community I haven't played a game against. I'm like, I guess I haven't played Candy Ma'am yet. There you go. Yeah, I can't think of anyone I haven't really played against. I would have liked to play like at Grand Gathering. I played against Tyler Breeze, for example, in the tournament, right? I didn't get to play with Sammy. I would have liked to see, just to hear him go as he's playing his cards, or whatever that counts. But we'll go there. If there's someone I haven't played against, You need to yell at me because I don't know. I think I played with everyone at this point.
And we also have a question. Actually, he's got his hand raised. It's going to be Mr. Poppin Twist.
All right.
My friend, you have just stated that you played against everyone, and again, you just completely ignore the fact that you haven't played against me.
Who are you? I don't even know who's talking right now. Is this in reference to listen? All right, balloon trash bag. All right, I've been busy. I've been out high profiling and styling. All right, I'm a higher class of competitor. All right, you and that salt of the earth Eddie Fury. All right, at least you've done something with your life. All right, you go bend balloons. You won a CCC, even though there was like 6 people in it. You beat some no over in Shy City. I don't know. I want to see. I'm undefeated in 2 CCCs. All right. I only lost because Eddie Fury is my tag partner, and we went down to the Texas educational system, and he took the pinfall of Sierra Nevada. And then I went undefeated the next year too, and finally won the thing. All right. So I like to
Now,
cut.
one could say that you won your season because I put my support behind you. One could say that.
It's adorable. You can't not say that. I guess I can't. I can't prove that, so that's fine. So listen, I guess Trump was hoping to be on the main card. He'll still be on the main card because he's winning Plaid Saturday, so I'll still be in the main event of the final. But
all right,
Flannel Friday, I'm not doing anything, so I'll give you the pleasure of finally getting in the ring with the GRUMP, baby. But
that's all I could ask for.
Eddie can be over on the side somewhere irrelevant, and we'll play. And then
I just hope his matches. I hope our match is first, because I don't want to hear when I beat him, when I win the whole thing, that he didn't win because he had that street fight first. I don't want to hear that.
That's fair. And if Dick had anything to say about it, he always wants to go first and last. So we'll see. But yeah, Shine, challenge accepted. I guess I'll lower myself to y'all's levels, at least to your level. You're at least middling. I think you can tag along as long as he's wearing makeup, because I like to have something to laugh at while I'm playing, you know.
Well, that's all I could ask for now, isn't it?
All right. See you at Flannel Friday, Jack. Adorable. Who let him in here? Fox. I changed my answer to horse now, don't I?
Welcome to the show, Danny.
Yep. All right. So let's get back to some Twitch questions. Kirk Polka would like to know when you're dropping some fire promos.
Yeah, Dick's been working hard stealing my camera, so it's been tough to get grump time lately. I was literally going to shoot a car promo last night, but it was the one day of the year that it's thunderstorming and hurricaning in Arizona. So it was a little I didn't want to do it while I was like on the car. So yeah, that delayed the grump promo a little bit. We'll see. I might have some magic in the works for Plaid Saturday. And I guess you got a mini promo for Papa Tristan and our match, but
yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for one of those video promos like on the award show. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing one. It's a little bit tougher because there isn't actually promos to work with beforehand this time, but I was planning on doing something anyway, so we'll see what comes out of there.
Kirk Polka also would like to know, this is a coffee question, McDonald's or Starbucks?
If Kirk knows anything about my midnight to 2 a.m. rants home, put as many McDonald's as it takes to get the iced coffee. Okay? I love it.
All right.
Can't drink it right now, though, because I'm on keto. It's a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Hey, keto coffee is actually pretty good.
All right.
The what?
There's a keto coffee.
Yeah, I need to look into that, but it won't be McDonald's.
It's pretty good stuff.
It's keto, so probably not. Hold the line. Harry would like to know, what do you think about Arizona pretty much not existing in any of the 3 current regions?
Yeah, it's a great time that I think Dick was on the Talk of the Universe when they first showed the belts, and I was staring at it and I'm like, something's wrong with that belt. And then it wasn't until after that I was in a different chat and they were like, Arizona's not even on the belt, right? And I was like, am I deep south and didn't know, which was a possibility, but apparently Arizona was supposed to be on the belt, and then I don't know what happened with the design. But yeah, good times. I mean, they went on the add a giant half of a state on the one side. It could have been Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you could be Pennsylvania, which is on like 2 belts, and no one cares.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
if it makes you feel better, Danny, Arizona is on my U.S. belt.
There you go. See, so I should. So yeah, as much as that gave Dave Marasek the excuse to not book me, I got no higher class GM over that belt, and apparently the GMs didn't even know Arizona was in it. So we'll see. I'll have to wait till some other jabrones holding it before I can bring it home. I guess. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, we know the Roach is one of the contenders, so. All right.
For the gorilla's thirsty, brother.
Yeah. Candyman has a very good question. Who is your least favorite member of the higher class?
Sale.
Yeah.
100%. It's his fault.
Yeah. That's probably.
Well, I mean, if I have to, I'd put him down. Honestly.
Yeah. I see no fault with that. So trying to catch up with all these. Kirk Polka, with a loaded question. What state makes the best pizza?
Chicago, Illinois.
They don't really make pizza, so that's why it's a loaded question.
Rough. I'd give anything for some of that. Give me that Giordano's in my mouth right now. I need that lasagna in my mouth. I don't care what you call it. I want it.
All right. Young Allergy is pointing out that according to the region's belt section on the website, Arizona is covered by the Midwest Coast title.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Calais confirmed it later, but
yeah.
I know I messaged him that day. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm not in charge of that.
Well, I mean, that seems like the question.
I literally texted him, I could have been Deep South champion this entire time, is what I really texted him. That's fine.
Well, I'm sure Harry would have a issue with
I didn't
that.
call. I asked him to call Harry. Be like, give me that.
Yeah. Practice Site would like to ask when the family-friendly alt art Richard Thunderface is going to be released.
If someone donates, if a GoFundMe to get an alt art to make Richard Thunderface, then I would gladly make it, sir. So there's potentially a new Dick coming. He will be called the Big One. Maybe it might be even more racy. So we might hold down a surety of Dick. By now, it might even be Dick finishers because let me tell you, Stephen J. Resk, he wanted the Dick. He was all in, and I was like, I don't know if you want to put that on the finisher. Tone down the finishers to not be carrying one-eyed jokes, but
Fair. So Kirk Polka, favorite video game franchise?
It's sort of loaded too. This is where it's hard because I think I might want to snap answer Final Fantasy, but I think if I really had to be like, well, you lose all the other games, like might have to choose Zelda just if I get like all the games from, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I like keep one, I think Zelda's got more variety that I've played over the course of years. But yeah, I'm an RPG, mostly RPG fan, so it's got to be Final Fantasy or Zelda-ish stuff in general. But so I'll go with that dual answer, I guess, and cheat.
All right, and Candyman apparently missed you saying she was the favorite member of the Rack Pack. So.
Yeah, we watched the episode again. Replay.
And Evil Ed would like to know who's the better character, Grump or Dick?
The SRG competitor, Grump, because Dick's unplayable. Don't get me started. I've been crying to anyone who that Dick got buried because Mad One came out. Yeah. As soon as I tell you, I made Dick before I only played like 1 or 2 games of Super Show when I designed Dick, and his stats and everything were just kind of like on the fly and like weird justification. He has low power because I wanted him to be like weak, like talks about the strats, but he's actually weak. And the spotlight thing was just because I was like, he wants the spotlight. And then the 22, 23, 24, the snap headbutt line had just come out. And so his stats were literally, I'm like, well, let's just do the top 3 are those 3 so that I could choose which one I want to play. And Steve literally said, well, more spotlights will eventually come out anyway. I'm like, yeah, literally no spotlights have come out since that day. So mainly because he thought Dick was super broken because John P would infinite loop him with D rolls and director of ops in practice games. And then obviously Mad One, Running Knee, all this other stuff. And then so All American line came out. The Skull Crush line came out. All the other Graveyard Hate, Cornbread, on top of everyone them being ready for it because they were losing to the Mad One or losing to X-Royce, right? So I just and then obviously Stips. Dick is terrible in many of the stipulation matches, basically because he has a strike DQ finisher. If you go in a cage match, half his cards are draw one, bury one, and just thank you for putting this in place like a hamster wheel. Anyway, so yeah, but in terms of otherwise, I mean, Dick's more fun to be stupid and talk with, as if I get to act, because the Grump is just like an exaggerative version of myself. So,
yeah. All right. Practice Site would like to know how many players in the Super Show community are better promos than the large majority of actual pro wrestlers.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of funny. I mean, there's at least, I'd say there's probably 10 people. Man, that's too high, but I'd feel like there's a higher number than it's kind of crazy to think about, but it might be like 10 to 15 people. I mean, because even you have people that don't cut promos necessarily, right? Like Loudmouth, for example. He's not out cutting promos all the time. But I mean, obviously the dude's, an actor, I'd say actor on the side. He's a lottery man, an actor on the side. But obviously, like he's cutting
That's
promos.
John Max Schnurr. Loudmouth is just.
Oh, whatever that guy's name is. Yeah, him too. So that's 2 guys, Loudmouth and Schnurr.
Yes, that's
I think there's a lot of people that
definitely 2 people there.
You just saw Hollywood, last week come back, and I would joke, I'm like, he ain't that, he's nothing special, but like he plays a character and then just deadpan talks as that character, and it's great, and it's one of those things where he's got a gimmick figured out, and he just kind of it's easy to just talk, and at that point it's entertaining, no matter what, right? Or here's Bobby O just showing up, for example. Bobby O's gonna go, rattle off stuff, and these guys in wrestling can't even do that. So, but that's because we're wrestling, right? So it's like we grew up watching it and would emulate the promos and whatever. And half the wrestlers didn't grow up wanting to be wrestlers, or they were bodybuilders, or who knows what. It's the ones that can really promo are the ones that grew up wrestling fans in reality. For the most part, it kind of breeds into itself, I think.
Yeah. And the places where you see they get a little bit more freedom to actually do what they want. Like, not the ones that make them think they're actors and then they grew up wanting to be wrestlers, not actors, and it doesn't usually work out as well when you start forcing the people to have certain words. Which is another thing. SRG, you pretty much have freedom to say whatever you want to say. So, you make it come from the heart. All right, Candyman would like to know, what is your favorite movie, and what other country would you want to live
in? So favorite movie, I guess I'll do my default top 5, right? So number, I got Lion King at the 5, right? I got Wedding Crashers at the 4.
Live action Lion King or the original?
No, regular old Lion King. I don't know.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah. Long live the king, knock you down. So and Pride Rock, or so, and I've got a Wedding Crashers at 4, just because I can't, I don't know what it is about every line in that stupid movie, just like, you tell that mean old ocean, and my favorite scene I don't even think is in the normal movie, it's in like the DVD only. And this is where I throw in a Star Wars movie, so I just say Empire Strikes Back, but it's really all of them. Except for the new ones, which I, whatever, it's fine. I kind of throw out the last movie, and then it's probably okay. Anywho, and then number 2 is American Psycho, and I gotta go return some videotapes. If you've never seen that movie, you need to go watch it now. And number 1, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I've never I laugh through movies. Like I'll watch John Wick, and I laugh through the entire movie because when I see like ridiculous violence or whatever, I'm just like I'm just dumb. So for me, Scott Pilgrim, I literally laugh through the entire movie because like every little inner stupid video game joke or reference or whatever, I was just dying. So every time the movie's on, I'm just like, yeah, zap to it. So yeah,
All right. Young Allergy is asking Desert Ridge or Arizona Mills.
Desert Ridge, because that's literally where I would watch. I lived like 10 minutes from Desert Ridge, and that's where I watched like all the movies at the AMC there. And I never lived close to Arizona Mills. I've only been there like 3 times.
Yeah. I assume there are malls.
Yeah, Desert Ridge is like a northern mall, but
Are they
it's like
indoor malls or outdoor malls?
Yeah.
All right. Kirk Polka, favorite pizza topping that's not pepperoni?
Cheese.
Good answer.
Double cheese. I'm a plain eater.
Yeah.
And it would be sausage if I have to choose a different.
Well, Hold the Line Harry would like to know, is Scott Pilgrim on demand at all? He hasn't seen it since he saw it when it was released, but not since. So can you help Hold the Line Harry find what streaming service to watch Scott Pilgrim on?
Netflix has had Scott Pilgrim for like ever recently. I don't know if it fell off now, but it's been on there for like 2 years. Scott Pilgrim also just had like its anniversary, I think, this last year, like some, whatever. It has a crazy cast that are now like Chris Evans is in it, and Michael Cera is the star, and there's like the subcast is just like random stars, like Anna Kendrick just thrown in there, for example, because they were all before they were huge. And like the video game just got re-released, for example, and but yeah,
it's
Netflix.
been confirmed that it is on Netflix. So.
Yeah. So watch it.
Yeah, this is not a paid-for advertisement for people.
If you could, I would go pimp. There's a couple of things I would go out in the corner and pimp for. Like, oh, have you seen Scott Pilgrim? Here's the DVD. Whip it into the car.
It is a good movie, and recently I've been watching the one music video from it a lot. It was just randomly.
Yeah. Even I love Metric. Like that's funny because the concert in there where they sing Black Sheep or whatever.
Yeah.
To like Metric, which is the band that covers it or whatever.
No, I think in the.
Oh yeah, Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah, in the video, it's different vocals.
It's what's her name?
Yeah.
Allison. Wow, what's her name?
Oh my God.
Yes, but yeah.
I'm gonna hate myself because I literally just blanked on her name.
Yep, me too.
Holy fuck. Oh my God, and I actually.
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, yeah, and I actually love her as Captain Marvel. So.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
And like I hated him when he left. He did Superman Returns. Then he didn't want to typecast as Superman. I'm like, dude, who doesn't want to get typecast as Superman? So I hated him. And then after Scott Pilgrim and after watching, I'm a big fan of Flash and Arrow and stuff. And when he shows up in that, he's like amazing. And I'm just like, I love him now. So.
And he is now on the TV show The Rookie.
Oh no, is he?
Yep. I watched Rookie. I'm like, oh.
It's for my boyfriend.
He is definitely not Superman in that show. He's definitely.
He will be eventually. They're gonna do a joke because they can't help themselves.
You should watch the show. His character would not really fit into that.
Wonder, right?
Yeah. So Candyman would like to know what kind of music you're into. Do you like to dance?
I like to dance.
You can dance if you want to.
When I was before I moved away from Chicago, I was going to. Like I'm a fan of like I said the generic everything but country. I like gangster rap and I like selective rap stuff. Like I'm a huge Kanye West fan, and for example, like but that was like my Chicago kind of connection with him. But then moving away, like I'm a big rock alternative in general person. So I think my favorite bands, like if I'm gun to my head, is like Linkin Park. AFI and like Incubus, for example, My Chemical Romance, that kind of stuff. But I also I like pop, like I like Billie Eilish, like don't like I'm kind of all over the place in general.
I do enjoy My Chemical Romance and AFI myself. Um, so Swaggy D would like to know, do you know how to twerk? And you do have to answer this.
I can't. No, I can't. I'd hurt my back. Dick would hurt his back. Dick don't twerk. Dick just stands tall. You know.
I guess Dick could break his back doing stuff like that.
We also got a few questions here in our Zoom chat as
Yeah, I saw
well.
the Bobby O one about asking you what your favorite Flash character is.
Well, so this is where. Oh man, I'm into space.
I mean, with Greg Shockley, we did almost derailed the whole show talking
I
about
know,
Green
I know.
Arrow.
No,
So
yeah,
let's
I'm more
let's
of
do it with
a
the Flash. I don't know as much about the Flash, so other than the TV show.
the Flash show. Like I loved Arrow, and then when I got to Flash, I was like, why am I watching Arrow anymore? Like Flash is just so much better as a show because it just ran right into the comic stuff. Like just bombards you with like
I remember the Flash
travel
TV
and
the Flash TV show from the '90s. So
yeah, no, I and that
that'll
well
be
that's the
my
thing. They,
Flash.
they
Always
go
be my
back to
Flash.
so much stuff and with that like
Yeah.
cameos from the show and all
Well,
that.
they
Like
actually had that Flash in the show when they did the
right, exactly, and that's why it's
multiverse crossover.
more incredible to me
Yeah.
that they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Best
But
Flash.
I'm like I feel like I'm spacing on who my favorite. Oh, okay, never mind. My favorite character is for sure Harry. Like that actor, I forget his name. Like he plays a different character every season, basically because of the way that character works, and he's always incredible as he goes through different iterations of like Bloke or whatever, Harrison Wells, like different, and it's just he's always the best. But Ed Kavanaugh, yes, his name. I love him so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know. That
Kind of
show
makes sense that you would want like the character that is like one person that plays multiple roles.
it's incredible to me that he's always like either the funniest character or kind of the best
Yeah,
thing
or
going
the
on.
best villain. Yeah, he goes from
Yeah. Oh yeah.
level.
Exactly.
Either you love him, you hate him, you do whatever he wants. Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. That first season still gets me because I was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Swaggy D. Favorite Kanye album? Graduation, B.O.B. or Life of Pablo or
It's
another?
hard. Like I mean, I lean toward the first one just because I listen to it so much and every single song is crazy. Like people as much as people, Kanye West is nuts, which I think it's all an act. He's like a wrestler, personally. Like because he'll be normal, like off camera. As soon as the camera's on him, he does he does a face or to me playing a character just to get, look at me, I'm nuts, to get attention. And every album, I have my Kanye soapbox for a minute. His first like 4 albums, like every album is very different. Like type of music and it's consistent and like up to 808s and Heartbreaks where it's like all remixy, like more techno-y music or more just electronic beats or whatever. And so to me it was like this guy's great. Like I'm always getting a different flavor of whatever and I just whatever in general. But the first album was, I mean, they're all strong. The first 4, at least, if I remember, maybe the 5th too. But the first one, just every single song was crazy. I'm pretty sure like every song was played on the radio at some point, which you don't hear of anymore. Usually, there's like 1 or 2 songs. But yeah, it's crazy to me.
Maybe we should get Schmidt to fact check that. Oh wait, wrong
Yeah,
show.
I mean, I've had like all the way down. There's a song called "Through the Wire"
Yes.
where he sings it while he's got his mouth was drawn, wire shut, and it's like that song even was like later played on the radio, for example. It was just like crazy.
Yeah. College Dropout it is actually the only Kanye album I own, but yes, it was absolutely an amazing album.
You can just picture me like at middle school going la 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 la.
Well, that was always it was like 50 Cent versus
right.
I like, dude, 50 Cent had one good album. The second one was kind of like it was over before it started, man.
Yeah. Fair. I mean,
I was a big Eminem fan and like but it's not every rap. It was more, I mean, I'm more commercialized rap or Chicago guys. Like I like Common.
yeah.
And some
Common
Kendrick Lamar was good and that kind of stuff.
Now, yeah. And Common, I love Common. I own several of his albums and everything like that. But I think he is probably, and this is going to be sacrilege for someone from Philadelphia to say this. I think Common is also the best hip hop rapper to go into movies and acting.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
and
definitely good.
I'm sure somewhere Will Smith is going to kill me.
No, I mean
Being
it's
from
more
Philly,
like what's it
but
called? Ice Cube. Like Ice Cube's solid too.
oh yeah,
Some of these guys, right?
yeah. But I'm from Philly, so saying someone other than Will Smith is kind of like sacrilege.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
I don't know if I don't know if Will Smith quite counts the same to me. Like I feel like
I mean,
more an actor before musician.
yeah.
In, in my,
No, he was definitely a
he would be.
musician
Let's put it this
before
way:
an
he would
actor.
be nothing if he didn't look the way he looked and get into movies and get into Fresh Prince. Like his music would
No,
have got him anywhere where he's at now.
his music is what got him there. But yeah, uh, I mean, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince was amazing. Parents just don't understand I mean, like, so you youngins might not realize how absolutely amazing that album was. That was actually the first record I owned. And back then we called them records and not vinyls because they
Yeah,
weren't special
now it's fun.
because we didn't have CDs.
I
So
thought about that the other day. I was saying vinyls. I'm like, does it say weird to say? Is it weird to say records now? Like, they're
yeah,
vinyl.
yeah, it's
Which is crazy how that shifted. Like all these other formats died, and even iPods died to an extent, right? And now now to think vinyl sales, right? And I mean, it's because it's the vintage thing. It's the but to me, I was trying to explain to somebody the other day. If you got new music is getting put on vinyls now, and to me, I feel like that defeats the purpose because it was like the original way to listen to certain songs from the past
yeah,
was scratchy, the way it was recorded, like that sound, the crackle or the whatever you get from vinyl, right? Is the authenticity of like the 70s or whatever music. And so I get it. But when you put like a digitally mastered track from new albums on a vinyl, it doesn't feel like, why is there grain on this? It's digitally perfect on the recording. And I get it. Like it's still cool to be like, I play all my music on the thing and whatever. You get the fidelity, the audio fidelity, but
Bobby O dropping knowledge in the chat. Yes, I do know that he was the first rap group to win a Grammy. Like, yes, I know this. I mean, Italian Bombata saying Will Smith was a horrible singer kind of misses the point of what Will Smith's career was since he's not a singer. Like, I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Young Hours, you talk about how summertime still bangs, but yeah. Master Micah pointing out that speaking of Common, have you seen the TV series Hell on Wheels? And I mean, I have.
No, when that was new, it was on AMC.
Yes.
Or was on a weird was that AMC?
It was on
It was
AMC.
on AMC, yes.
And that looked incredible. And I didn't really have cable for a stretch. And then there's so many shows. Like I like to consume as much good stuff as I can. And like the backlog is real though, like Hell on Wheels is always one that I wanted to see and just haven't gotten to, ever.
Yeah, I didn't know who Anson Mount was before that show, but like between him and Common, it was awesome. And yes, it is on Netflix.
Oh, hopefully get there someday.
Yeah.
I'm on like season 7 of Supernatural, and that's in like.
Okay,
really?
you should end that, and like if you've seen 7 seasons of Supernatural, you've pretty much seen every season of Supernatural.
I'm aware.
So
I would probably say about mid-8, going into 9, maybe.
I don't know. It was great at first, and then I've been kind of it's just been on.
You get to the 5th season, and then they start repeating the season's storylines pretty much, just with different
but it's not. It was
villains.
great at first conceptually. Like I like that kind of stuff. I like supernatural stuff, and so when I always joke about this. Like I like Twilight. I love Twilight's universe that they created as much as the books and movies are garbage. But the concept that or True Blood, if you ever heard of True Blood, where the concept you have vampires over areas of control or they're sheriffs or whatever. Like the fact that there's an underworld hierarchy always interests me. And so
there was a TV show in the 90s that was kind of like based on vampires. It was called Kindred, The Embraced.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I vaguely remember that.
Don't watch it. It's horrible.
Okay.
But it's based on the White Wolf gaming franchise, but as done by Aaron Spelling. So you take this great idea of like vampires who are controlling the world politically and whatnot in an RPG, and then you turn it in 90210. So definitely was not worth the few episodes they have, despite the fact that somewhere in my house I own it on DVD.
Yep. No. See, I'm a sucker for. I've never seen Vampire Diaries, but I've
Okay.
watched the originals,
Yeah.
which is the spin-off. It's the bad guys, or it's, it starts off with them, and it's like, why wouldn't I want to watch a show about like the badass vampires that are stronger than everyone else? That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm not a huge vampire watcher anymore, but yeah, I mean, they are interesting shows. If you're into vampires, those shows are really solid, and people are pointing out the originals, the spinoff of Vampire Diaries, is legit too.
Yeah,
All right, Practice Site would like to know: have you played any tabletop RPGs? I mean, you're into the video game versions.
I played D&D for the first time like a month ago,
Oh,
so
wow.
too, and I mean I finally got to play once. I'm a big board game player, so I've owned at some point I owned like over 300 board games and had too many Kickstarters, and I had to sell most of my collection when I moved. But I'm a big card game player, obviously. So
Which is
played pretty
ironic
much
because we haven't talked that much about card games. But
yeah,
people would like
we haven't talked about wrestling or SRG, so yeah.
yeah, Swaggy D would like to know your favorite race class for D&D.
I'm currently a Warforged cleric, so I don't know if I have I can't have a favorite yet, but in terms of favorite, I picked a robot, and I gave him a fake mustache, and his name is Dick, and I talk like Dick when I play. So the Dick jokes are going over well currently. We'll see how long before they go nuts.
That is an odd horror force.
Oh, that the quench for that fiend. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Canoli's not here, but someone did ask. Practice I decided to ask for him your top 3 favorite male wrestlers and your top 3 favorite female wrestlers.
Where's Cannoli, man?
We should pivot into a wrestling question. So.
Ah, man. Yeah. So this is where it's. I mean, whatever. I could just. I mean, CM Punk's my favorite, but if you have to go, and it's hard because I'm kind of cheating, right? CM Punk felt like rooting for a home team for me,
Just
which you
the
for
WWE
Chicago?
version or
the
Indies?
WWE version. So like
Okay.
it was like a weird thing where I normally wrestler like I never care about where they're from, right? CM Punk felt weird in that because I was from Chicago, it amplified him, and you saw it with like the Chicago crowd going nuts, right? So it's weird like when a wrestler reps a city, it doesn't usually happen that way. You know, Orton's in Missouri, no one cares or whatever, right? Yeah. But for whatever reason, Punk felt like rooting for a home team, and that like transcended wrestling to an extent for me. Like I'm a big sports fan too, so to me it felt like Chicago was winning when he was winning or doing well, and that Cena Punk match where it was in Chicago was just like the craziest match ever. That like the nation at the like it was just insane. So Punk, kind of in there, but like I love Macho Man. It's like promo people, and I have to choose Orton. Even though I don't know if that stands the test of time because whatever. I love Orton, Edge, and it's more Orton becoming transcending heel because no one's really done it in so long. There's periods of time, there's years where Orton is such a good bad guy that he's reached the Stone Cold levels, right? I mean, I love The Rock and Stone Cold. I love all, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, The Rock, I feel like Stone Cold transcended heel to the point where he could be badass that should be a heel, but he's really the hero. And I feel like Orton reached those levels where like he wasn't even evil anymore. He was just like psychologically, he was like Jake the Snake on steroids at some point, just incredible. To the point where in his matches, what people perceive as boring is like he's literally messing with the opponent. Like he gets so into it. Like the headlocks feel real, the little kicks, like the stupid stuff that make his matches slower felt like psychological warfare that no one else does. And so I just, and the RKO out of nowhere is always fun. And it's still a protected move to this day. People don't really kick out of RKOs very often. So
and I ask you this, which I believe it's a sidewalk slam, but when like he throws you in and he does that little slam, would you say that's probably he does it the best? Because
Oh, the power slam, yeah, off the rope.
yeah,
Yeah, I think.
he
I mean,
does
he
it
whips them over
so
so fast
slick.
because he literally keeps his feet facing straight. He turns his body, so like
Yeah.
he grabs them and he uses all of his force to like turn over as fast as he can. So I think he definitely has the nicest. Like he prides himself on like that and the drop kick, and this is where like you talk about Okada has the beautiful drop kick. Is it Okada? Yeah, it's like they kind of talk about that stuff. They don't talk about that in WWE, but
Yeah.
he has like some of the nicest standard moves in wrestling, right?
Well,
Um,
it's like his technique, but not only just his technique, but how he's doing these moves. He makes
well,
it
he's got
look
the
so easy,
size.
but also
Yeah,
so awesome.
he's got the size to be able to do pretty much, kind of the perfect to anybody. There's a lot of smaller guys that awesome stuff against other smaller guys, and Orton's big enough to where who he's fighting makes the move vicious or believable, or that kind of stuff. And he has enough variety. He's not quite Punk or the guys where every match feels different, but I don't know. I just Orton over time, and women's rougher because I feel it goes in waves. I love really right overall, and I've always loved, but like he became a heel, just cemented it for me. And Becky becoming Stone Cold Light was awesome, but like I don't know if overall I could say, oh hey Becky, but I love like I guess this is where it goes in waves for me. I don't have like an all-time favorite women's wrestler, right? It's kind of like almost of the moment lately, to the point where I want to see Rhea Ripley fight, or I want to see Candice LeRae fight, or Shotzi Blackheart lately. So for example, like Shirai has been great. So it's almost like and Asuka has there because I don't maybe Asuka's my number one because she's always awesome, and if she yells at someone in Japanese, it's just like I mark out. So yeah, I would say Asuka is probably number one.
All right. To get into the just to touch on the Chicago wrestler, my favorite Chicago wrestler that wrestled in the WWE was always Scotty Goldman. Scotty Goldman was
Oh,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. He used to do
nice.
great promos in a box. He's amazing.
Now to ask you also, because you mentioned Edge, and would you say he's got the probably the best one to do the spear?
So I always joke that Edge's spear is more of a I'm gonna run at you and then I'm gonna hit you to the side. Like he just kind of like a falling hug to the side is what I always joke with his spear. I think the best spear is the original Goldberg spears because he's legitimately tackling people. So, but anyone else was really using a spear as a finisher or as even a move. I mean, I know people have done tackles like
Yeah.
Hacksaw or people, but the spear wasn't even a thing until Goldberg was doing it. And Goldberg's first half of his career, every spear was a legitimate football tackle, like a true I'm spearing the hell out of you, cutting you in half, to the point where, later in life it became a joke. Like I love hit the Rock. I could laugh over and over. The Rock going, like he's dying, and he gets speared is cool. So I'd argue Goldberg does the best spears. Or if I have to take career spears, this is where I don't count Rhino as doing a spear. Rhino has I think the gore is incredible because
Yeah.
Rhino runs through you. That's the biggest difference. And so the best spears, I'll call them, he's not hugging them, he's not protect himself. He's like literally trying to run through. I'd say a tie between Rhino and Goldberg for who if I see a spear on somebody, give me OG Goldberg or peak Rhino, and that's the best.
I'd say probably Rano had probably when it come to which he was, back when he was extreme and all that. I would say he probably had the deadliest when it come to weapons because like tables, stuff like that. Man, them tables would just go everywhere with those gores,
Yeah, he's
gores right into a chair, just different things.
he didn't stop his momentum is the biggest thing. He's trying to like just
Yeah,
keep going, and that's what I mean. Obviously, it's not safe, which
no.
is why W at the time safe. But That's why Edge is going, and I fall to the side. I mean, it looks fine. I like it more than a Roman Reigns spear, which half the time looks half-assed and he's just kind of falling. I mean, Roman right now being the heel, but man, Superman punches and spears are weak sauce most of the time now.
All right. So Kirk Polka would like to know who's your pick to win the men's and women's Royal Rumble this year.
So this is where it's a toss up for me for both. So I think women is either Peyton Royce or Bianca Belair. And it's like left field.
Okay.
I think Vince is obsessed with Peyton Royce. I think she's gonna be like a mega star.
All right.
And
yeah.
And on the men's side, I think it's either Keith Lee or probably Edge. I know Daniel Bryan's a popular one right now because he's jobbing to everybody, but I don't know if Daniel Bryan needs to win the Rumble. Like it's if you want to, if you he doesn't need to push, so to speak. But Keith Lee could use it just to push him, beyond.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's ready to. This is where Vince, are you ready to be in the main event? Like, who knows?
All right. So that would be question in here from Nightmare King. Who do you want to see winning between Drew and Goldberg in the Royal Rumble?
Sure, Drew.
Yeah.
Goldberg should not be doing anything right now.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as that's because Vince does his thing and
Yeah.
it's Berg, but it's like, oh boy, okay, yeah.
That's kind of like, like here lately when, like back when he faced Dolph Ziggler and all these, it's like, I hate those matches you can just automatically predict, and his matches here, which he is 53, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know he's up there, but I just can't stand 40-second matches like that. It's like you just wasted a match card.
Well, he can't have, Brock Lesnar's descended into garbage matches for some reason, even though he doesn't have to have. But Goldberg has to protect himself because he doesn't. Yeah. He's never had, great. Goldberg's best match, like for me, against Raven, where he beat the whole flock and the crowd stormed Raven back into the ring, and it's still one of my favorite matches ever. But that's not as a Goldberg. That's just because. It's because of Goldberg's aura and storyline at the time. Yes, he's so capable. He beat 8 guys, but like to me, it was just it was a fun to watch thing around. Not really just because of his. He's never has a great match because of his wrestling. Let's put it that way. So yeah, that's the rough part.
Fair. All right. So as we're getting closer to the end of the show and a match that'll be happening right after, we should probably delve into something we haven't delved in. How did you actually get into Super Show?
Oh, what? Man, how we just started. How's my time out already?
It's been.
Yeah, so I was at Origins. I was playing X-Wing miniatures game.
Okay.
Like I competitively, so I was traveling for that, and Nationals was at Origins, So I was at Origins to play at Nationals, and this was the year SRG didn't go to Origins. So it was it's like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Walking past a booth where it was a booth where they sell subscription boxes, and then he had samples of the stuff that's in the boxes, and he had SRG starter decks. He had 3 of them and a play mat, and it was like the basic play mat. And so it was I don't even remember now what the starter decks were. I mean, it was a Snake Pit Ombre, and it was a Big Shot somebody.
Rob Graves.
It was the Rob Graves one for sure.
So it was before the GTS
second
one.
starter decks.
Yeah, way before.
Okay.
Like I was getting Superman punches with strike requirements basically.
Okay.
I bought everything I could buy from him, and then I went online and bought I could buy from Velicard because I hadn't even found the regular Super Show site yet, right? Which just shows you, how broken some of that was. And that's why I bought 2 AJs right, at that time for $18 or whatever it was from both. And then once the discussion group kicked up, I basically once there was a wrestling game, like I was meant to buy it, knowing I had no one to play with. It didn't matter. I was just gonna buy it all, which is what I was doing, hoping that I could pull it out and play with my friends, which I never happened. And so I was literally just buying everything for the first 3 years, whatever, 2.5 years. And I didn't play my first game until 2 years ago, like online, when like 2 years ago, December, when I was gonna start up an online league. And then I was literally posted about it, and my post got taken down immediately. And the cook, Nathan Wagner, tells me, we already got a plan for online play, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. And then that's when online league literally started, like the next week. And so that was the first time I was playing. That was right before the first grand gathering. So, but I never played it. I just bought everything would come out. I would buy it. I was obviously in the CCC, but I didn't ever actually play the game. I knew the rules. I knew how to play, and I would buy everything, but wasn't playing. So.
And you was talking about the Villa cards too, because back then I got a hold of that website from I can't even remember who told me, but a friend of mine. And when I got on there, and it's just weird to me, back then running lariats, flip fours, take, from your discard pile was actually $40 for one card.
Yeah,
like
no,
30 or 40
I
bucks.
mean, I bought one of everything from like a move standpoint over time, but not from there, obviously. I didn't get the flip cards until they did the Royal Rumble thing 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Promo they gave was running face kick, so it's like, oh, I got one of each or whatever. But at that time there was no skill cards. Like there was only 718, right? I don't even know if Press Slam had come out yet.
718 was the first run, I think.
Right. So like I would order 1 to 27s, and every single one had a 718 in it. So like I had a bunch of 718s and stuff at first. It was weird.
Those were the days when 718s, press limbs, all that was the number one shebang.
Well, yeah, because there was nothing else. The first skill cards were 718 was there, Super Punch, which was pointless, and then eventually Full Nelson and them came out, and there wasn't even other. So it was very slow going. And then the next skill cards were the counters to the 718, the 16, 17, 18. So it was like, but anyway, he's here. Where's the cannoli questions? Let's go.
He might be preparing for his match next, so he.
Oh, rude.
I know.
Somebody already asked my questions.
I don't know, man. Yeah, my favorite wrestlers. Yeah, you missed it all.
Yep. Well, he can watch it on video on demand on YouTube or.
Now Cannoli's going to sue that person for copyright. Those are my questions.
Yeah, I don't even know what those questions were. I don't know.
All right, Dustin. Really? So we got a couple minutes left in the show. Do you actually have any questions for him? Because you really didn't ask much.
Well, man, it hit off like so much support from this community, just asking questions. I mean, they hit you with everything they got. But one thing I was going to say is, you were talking about the old box sets and stuff like that. And I tell people all the time back in the day, number 15, it didn't matter what box set you got. It was always bow and arrow. You could have a 5 sub and get a bow and arrow in that deck.
Yeah. Yeah. I ran out like crabs, but I have an infinite bow and arrows.
Yeah. And, it's just unreal the feeling that we used to get when, oh my God, I've got that 718 or press slam. It's the best card ever. And then, it's just, how do you, well, you being an older player too, I mean, how's it feel now, looking back of how it's transitioned into, wow, so many, so many.
Well, I'm surprised it took so long to get, like, the game went almost 3 years with almost no pool. So I don't know what, I don't know what in a couple of those jumps, but like no new lines were really coming out. And like, to think that the no DQ box was the friendly draws, and it literally was no other stops. Like you literally only had punch, and it's like how. And at the time it was bizarre. It's like every deck would almost be the same. So like, put it this way, I'm not sure how the game succeeded before I started playing. At the point where I started, shortly after, draw stops came out and there was more variety. But for the 2 or 3 years before I was playing, I have no idea how the game life because every deck would have been identical. Like to me in my head, like literally punch was the only stop at 1, right? And there wasn't even like an alternative. I don't even know what the other number 1 was. Like I would sort my cards and be like, 1 is punch, and like I don't even know if there was another card.
And it's like, kind of like berry gimmicks. And I say it all the time. Jigsaw was one of my first competitors, of course.
But
But
there's no ways to bury, right?
yeah,
Like
no,
two,
13. It was like 13 through 15 was the only ones your opponent
like
made berry
Isaguri
one.
or something.
Or so it's a total, just looking back now, it's so unreal how much, it's come through and how much cards come out now,
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna finish off with 2 quick questions. Chugonomics wanted to know Coke, Pepsi, or RC.
So it's Diet Pepsi or regular Coke for me.
All right. That
Drinking diet, I prefer Diet Pepsi. If I'm drinking regular, I prefer
I
Coke.
am absolutely 100% the same on that too. I don't drink Coke anymore because I don't drink the calories anymore. But yeah, when I
well, I'm
did,
drinking diet only right now, but yeah.
yeah,
That's fair.
yeah, but that's the same way. Like there's a sweetness level difference there. Like
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, Diet Coke has like no taste. Real
Yeah,
Pepsi is way too sweet.
I
And
used
then
to like
like
Diet more, but it's like a
yeah,
weird mix.
yeah.
I don't know what it is now.
And then for
Yeah.
our last question is the big guy would like to know when are you going to stop being a thorn in his side?
That's not. I mean, that's exactly the question I was expecting, but never.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. He broke up my first tag team before I even got to have a tag team.
Oh wow.
Going strong. We had shirts, and then when we didn't even get a chance.
Oh man.
Grant you because Steven Hines is dead weight, dead beat. So thanks for taking that off my hands. But hey, rude.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
yeah. So the only thing I'd say is the G tier is a thing, and it ain't stopping, baby. We'll see.
All right. Sounds
Gotta
good.
keep it going.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. This was great, and I mean, this is another one of those interviews where we probably could have done another hour if we had time. And
Yeah, there was no anime or cartoon questions or
no.
comic. I mean,
We'll have to save it for the next time when you're fully in Dick Thunderlips gear. And
oh, is that it? I mean, I could just put that on. I don't know. Dick questions, okay?
yeah.
Extensive getting scoops.
Yeah. But so thank you, Dustin. Who is our guest for next week? If you know.
Next week is
I
going
don't.
to be Poland Prince.
Puro again.
Yeah,
And
I can't announce his last name. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm terrible at it.
different person.
Puro.
No. That he's already.
No.
Finland's already
Yeah,
been
that
on.
was
This is
last week.
yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's the one I was watching. Oh yeah. So this is Michael P with a Z in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Poland's other.
I just
prince.
don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, the Polish people, the Finnish people taking over. Back-to-back skis. I don't know. Is he a ski? He's got a Z in his name. Cannoli, I'm still mad at you. I hope you lose your match because you weren't in here asking questions. I've watched like a bunch of episodes from Fox, and like it's a Cannoli show, and I had no.
Seems fair. All right, and with that, we will be taking a quick break from while we set up the next match, and so that like the video on demands separate these two shows. So thank you everyone for watching, and thanks for being around, Dick.
Thank you, Danny.
Bye, man.
Bye.